Hi strangers, my name is Cable and welcome to part 8 of the Willowmist Emporium of Antiques and Curiosities demo. For whatever reason, the audio is still a tiny bit too fast for the video. I truly do not understand why, but hey, we're here now, so sorry for the long intro, I'll leave you to it. Game is linked down below of course, and I shall see you later. Okay, that was bizarre. A random lovely old lady came by looking for a place to stay, but sadly I'm in student accommodation and as such had nowhere to give her. Had no room to offer rather. So, yeah. Anyway, back to a fan of idols. I used to be an idol back in the day. I used to be an idol back in the day. Is that so? Yup, big into singing, dancing, all that. I decided to pack it all up and move to the countryside to sell antiques. Well, spotlight isn't for everyone. I just shine too brightly. It's fortunate you have something to fall back on if this doesn't work out then. Putting aside the non-work talk, please navigate to this website and download the software. I'll give you a license to use it under my business. EMMET pulled out his own laptop, then showed you to the download page for some piece of accounting software, which you promptly downloaded. Have you ever used a program like this before? What if I said I had? It would inquire whether you were lying or not. Okay, I haven't. Really, I'm new to all of this. Any guidance you can give me is appreciated. Not to worry, it's rather beginner friendly, and your aunt's business is quite simple. It's all cash in and out, cash out. I suggest continuing to use the book downstairs for keeping track of sales, as Miss Marigold will find it more comfortable when she returns. Once a week, you can copy the numbers in here. Leaned over slightly, pointing towards the screen. Miss Marigold chooses to pay off her bills weekly. I'd suggest monthly or every 2 weeks, but she was adamant about it. These bills will cover water, power, the usual. Payment for your employees is already paid directly out of your aunt's account, so there's no need to worry about that. That saves me a bit of effort. Just make sure to put some time aside every weekend for paying bills. Got it. My weekends are about to go crazy. So I just click here to find my bills? No, over here. He leaned over again and you couldn't help but notice the scent of his cologne. It was almost floral. In fact, you had to pinpoint the way it smelled. Maybe sparkly? Distracted, your hand brushed against his, and for a split second, time seemed to pause. EMMET quickly pulled his hand back and cleared his throat before continuing on like nothing happened. Yes, just here. Just there. Click on this tab and it will show you an overview of your pending payments for the week. Ah, right, I got it. Thanks, EMMET. From here on, it should be straightforward. However, since it's your first time, I'll stick around and assist you with filling in some sales data from the book downstairs. Really? That's awfully kind of you. At that, he let out a rare laugh. I pay by the hour, Cable. I wouldn't call it kindness. Oh, I see. Looking to fill up your bank account, huh? That's the point of running a business, yes? Appreciate the help nonetheless, even if it comes from a selfish place. Want to have a coffee before we start? Numbers boy? Numbers boy? You like numbers, don't you? Yes, I suppose so, and no, one of those coffees was enough to last me a lifetime, thank you. If I now have to drink another, it'll still be too soon. Grab the book then, feel free to make yourself comfortable. You headed back downstairs and spent the next several hours going through the handwritten records your aunt left, plus your recent additions. Fortunately, just as EMMET said, it was a rather simple task, just very time-consuming. Ah, tedium. And done. Well, that was fun. It was, yes. Okay, now I'm the one who was joking. I think I'll leave all the numbers to you. If that much is obvious, I had to stop you from entering the wrong amount at least a dozen times. Hey, I'm learning. Does that mean if this doesn't work out, I won't be getting an apprenticeship at your accounting firm? Spend a few more years studying and then maybe I'll have a chance. At an interview. Wow, what's the point of knowing anyone if you can't even get a job from nepotism? I believe that a friendship is required for nepotism to work. Are you saying that you don't want to be my friend, even though I'm so effortlessly charming, witty, and funny? I don't have time for friendships, Miss Marigold, so I apologise, but a nepotistic position at my company is not likely. That's not how it seemed when I bumped into you the other night. What do you mean? At the Silver Oak? You were there? Am I that forgettable? Sitting a few tables away from me, Lucy and I were leaving when you told me I was doing a great job with the store and you wanted to see me again. Then you asked me out to dinner. I believe you're confusing me with someone else. No, but it was definitely you. It's also you too. So that's a no to hang out? It's late. I believe our time's up. I'll bill Miss Marigold directly for our session. He stood hastily and the sound of wood scraping against wood echoed through the small room as he threw back his chair and began quickly putting all of his papers and laptops back in his briefcase. Then maybe we could... I should really be on my way. Good night, Cable. Don't forget to brush your teeth tonight. Brush night. In a hurry, Emmett rushed out the door and down the stairs, leaving you staring at the empty spot where he'd been just a moment ago. Don't forget to brush your teeth. What is he, my mother? Wait, what's that? A folded piece of paper remained on the table. You unfolded it to see a letter addressed to Emmett. Resisting the urge to snoop, you instead folded it back up, then found your hands covered in sparkles. What the? Brushed them off on your shirt, then touched the paper again. Once again covered in sparkles, despite the paper looking crisp and white. Emmett will probably want this. Taking the letter in hand, you dashed downstairs. Where did he go? Let's go for a luck check. Let's just run around. Hey, easy dub. You can't have gone far, trusting yourself, Cable. Yourself on foot, walking through the darkened town. It was a clear night, and the sky was full of more stars than you could count. It was certainly different to back home. You were walking like this in search of Emmett, but slightly distracted by the sight above when you heard a meow? Then another, and another. Where's that coming from? Following the noise, you turned into a side street and saw a group of kittens huddled together and surrounding a certain man. Don't worry, my boy food says no need to get violent. There, eat. Emmett was crouched low to the ground, holding out a small white plate bordered with yellow ducks for the group of tiny cats. As kittens meowed and he ate, he stroked them gently, smiling. His normally serious face has been replaced by a softer expression. I was expecting to find my favourite numbers boy feeding strays. Ah, what are you doing here? As he spoke, his face cracked and the kittens scattered, leaving two of you alone in the dim moonlight. I enjoyed your company so much I didn't want it to end yet. You what? Is that so unlikely? You've known me for a handful of days and all we've done is talk business. You know, just like listening to you talk. He looked at you incredulously, as if trying to gauge if you were joking or not. Okay, I do like you, Emmett, but I found you for a reason. You left something at the store and I wanted to return it. Really? Here, sorry for speaking to you. He held the letter out to him and he finally stood up from his crouched position, dusting the dirt off his pants. He reached out and took the letter, carefully as if not to tear it. Did you read it? I'm not as nosy as I look. No, I didn't read it, I promise. Well... Emmett cleared his throat and adjusted his tie before tucking the letter away inside his jacket. I apologize for my prior rudeness. This was highly unprofessional of me. I'm expecting you to be professional outside your work hours. In fact, I think you could probably loosen up that tie a little even during business. Do you like cats? I suppose you could say that. That's not a yes or a no. They are small, cute. Do you like cats small and cute too? Are you a cat? Do I need to be a cat? I can meow if you like. You have no sense of... Sorry, that threw me for a loop. You have no sense of humour, do you? I'm joking, Emmett. You don't have to take everything so seriously. He let out a sigh and shook his head. You're an overwhelming person, you know that? We hardly know each other, now you're trying to meow at me in an alleyway. Okay, when you put it like that, I sound like a weirdo. If the shoe fits, then what can I say? Maybe you just need someone to help you let loose little. That could be me if you like. What exactly do you want from me? I just want to get to know you. I can't do that if you're always running away. Overwhelming and persistent. It's part of my charm. Thank you for returning my letter, Miss Marigold, but it's late and I should really be getting home now. You should too. Then how about me walking you home? There's no need for that. It is hardly a 10-minute walk from here. I know there's probably no need, but can I do it anyway? They sighed and his shoulders drooped. Fine. If it makes you happy, that doesn't mean I consider us friends. The two of you started walking through the dark streets. There was a cool breeze and you pulled your clothes tighter around yourself. How about close acquaintances? We can start there. Great, go get it! You smiled brightly and Emmett looked at you out of the corner of his eye. So, my close acquaintance, am I allowed to ask you something? If I ask you not to talk to me, you wouldn't do it, would you? I don't talk that much, do I? Emmett remained silent. Well, ouch. Okay, I can't tell if you're joking or not. That's kind of terrifying. Okay, going back to the topic at hand. What was with you the other night? Seriously, I don't think I'm going crazy. I definitely saw you there. I was afraid you'd ask that. Fine, I'll tell you. This will stay between us. My lips are sealed. I have a low alcohol tolerance. Huh? The normal, non-supernatural answer stunned you at first, and then you were surprised by your own reaction. Why did you expect it to be something different? Wait, that's really it? Why would I lie to you about that? It's embarrassing enough to admit. I guess it's just so mundane, like, compared to a ghost or a time-traveling knight. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, don't worry about it. So, you really were just drunk the other night? Quinn offered me some of his homemade cider and I felt embarrassed to turn it down. It's only one drink, but that's all it takes. Apologise that you had to see me that way. It's actually kind of adorable seeing you act so nice, sweet, talkative. Adorable. A 31-year-old man is hardly adorable. And yet here you are. How strange. This is why I try to avoid alcohol. How much does it take to get you drunk exactly? Like, one sip? Please do not test that. You can't tell me all that and then not follow up with a number, Emmett. Where's the fun in that? God, I've already told you too much. Yes, even one sip will do it with me. God, I've already told you too much. Yes, even one sip will do it to me. It's not something I'm proud of. If it helps, I'm not much of a drinker either. That's what the early 20s are for. Now I'm old enough and my bones are creaking. You can't be more than 25. Ooh, are you complimenting me, my dear accountant? Trying to get on my good side? Hardly. I'm 26 actually, but you were close. Oh, this is great. What are you doing out here in the middle of nowhere at 26? What's this I hear? Someone wants to get to know me? It's only simple curiosity. To tell you the truth, then I have no clue. You have no clue? I was getting a little burnt out working part-time jobs and thought maybe some time away from the city would be good for me. Running a store was just a lucky opportunity. I haven't even seen my aunt since I was a kid. It'd be like Miss Marigold to leave a niche stranger in charge of a business. I don't think she had much of a choice. My grandparents passed away and my mum, well, they don't talk for some reason. What about you? You can't weasel out my invasive questions this time. You asked first. I moved to town a few years ago. With your business? That came after I arrived in this town with only the clothes on my back. Don't tell me. You're on the run for tax fraud. Please give me a little more credit than that. I'm just saying, someone who knows the system would have an easier time using it to their advantage. If I wanted to commit tax fraud, I wouldn't be caught. So you considered it? Funny I'd say it's hard. No, I have not considered committing tax fraud. There, are you happy? Ecstatic. Why do you move here then? It's complicated. I needed a new start and I didn't have much else. The sound just seemed quiet. Had to agree with that. My previous job was quite intensive. I lived within the same building I worked and rarely had a day off. Didn't really have a life beyond that. When the opportunity presented itself, I took it to leave. Was it accounting related? Kind of. Thank you, that's very specific. Emmett suddenly stopped us outside a small, 2-story high apartment building. There looked to be a sign hanging out the front. Finch Advisory. What are you, some kind of workaholic? Yes, but I live by my practice. Yes, but I live by my practice. It's just easier. Even if it was greatly unnecessary, thank you for seeing me home. You really didn't have to. Seriously, you didn't. I know I didn't, I just wanted to. You're incredibly strange. Thank you. I did not intend it as a compliment. Well, I'll take it that way. Unsurprising. Thank you for returning my letter and the walk. Good night, Miss Marigold. He gave you a curt nod and then walked towards the building before stopping in his doorway and suddenly fishing around in his briefcase. Just as you were about to turn around and head back to the store, Emmett cleared his throat and walked back over to you before shoving something in your hand. A small card. You did already give me your business card, but now I have a spare. Thanks. I wrote my number on that one. Oh? For emergencies only. Emmett pushed his glasses up before turning around and finally entering the building, leaving you to stand alone in the dark streets, the door closed behind him. Familiar with the card in your hands, you could see both a mobile number and a personal email address scrawled in messy, loose handwriting. To see my friends now. The click sounded through the empty street as a window was pulled open ever so slightly. No. And then it was shut again. Based. We love you, Emmett. With a smile, you pocketed the card and started on your way back. With a smile, you pocketed the card and started on your way back to the store. Terms and conditions. I love this. I love this game so much. I feel like that's already been said, but whilst it's not impervious to fault, it is really fucking good. The shop floor was quiet when you entered, and all the lights had been turned off, and only the faint glow from the moon illuminated the store. Florian didn't look to be around. Maybe he was cleaning in the storeroom, or maybe he'd finally accepted he was sick and needs rest, likely the former. I strode across the store, ready to head up the stairs. Cable, you have returned. Ah! Jesus, Lucille, what are you doing hiding in the dark? Hiding? A knight does not hide. I was merely keeping guard while waiting for your return. It's late, you should be home. In truth, I did attempt to head home earlier, but the town was too quiet. I feared leaving the store unguarded, so I intended to come check on you. Sir Florian informed me that you had gone out and not returned, and I grew concerned. Ah, right, Emmett left something here, so I had to hunt down. Thanks for coming back to check on me, Lucille, but really it's way outside your pay grade to have to guard me after hours. This is nothing about pay, Cable. I need no reward, only the knowledge that you are safe and well. Thanks, Lucille. I'm totally fine. In fact, we were talking and I walked down at home. Not sure how happy. I'm not sure how happy he was about the whole thing, but, you know, maybe it's the thought that counts. A noble deed, no matter how small, is never wasted. Yeah, I guess that's true. It was kind of fun, too. Lucille placed her helmet on her head, then brushed herself off. Well, if everything is in order, I'll take my leave. Do not worry, I'll not allow myself to be late tomorrow morn. She bowed low, then started towards the door. Wait, can I walk you home too? Lucille paused for a moment, then turned and walked back over to you, placing a hand on your shoulder. I'd allow you to see yourself home alone after? Nay, I would not. She shook her head. I mean to protect myself. Should brigands set upon me? You do not. It would not be fitting. Don't worry, I'll be well. It's not your duty to escort me to and fro. Something, I need no reward, I need knowledge that you are safe and well. Leave the protection to me, Cable. While I live and breathe, I will never allow a hair on your head to be harmed. Fine, but one day I'm going to force you to let me look after you too. That's the deal. She nodded. You are a stubborn one. Very well. A deal is... You are a stubborn one. Very well. A deal it is. Until next time, then. She gave you another nod before heading out the front door and disappearing into the night. The sound of the bells chiming faded as the door closed, and once again the store was plunged into silence. You waited for a minute or two until you heard the sound of her footsteps. Oh, very professional. Waited for a minute or two until you heard the sound of her footsteps growing distant, then locked the front door and started back up the stairs. Your room was much as you left it, cluttered by decades and decades of use. It wasn't quite home yet, but it was a nice change from the dingy apartment you'd called your own for the last few years. You walked over to the kitchen table and closed your laptop. With all the rush of chasing after Emmett, you had forgotten you still had cleaning up to do. With a sigh, you packed up the Ferris papers that still scattered the surface before placing your laptop back on your desk. Wait a second. Where'd the book go? You quickly started searching around your desk, then under it, but it was nowhere in sight. Hey, book, where'd you go? I know I didn't imagine you. No response. With a grumble, you began turning the room upside down in search of it, under your bed, in the wardrobe, and every cupboard and drawer, but no matter how hard you searched, it seemed to be missing. Finally, exhausted, you sat down at your desk, found it sitting on the surface as if it had never gone missing in the first place. You're messing with me, aren't you? Still no response, though that would have been more surprising, would have been getting a response, really. Alright then, book. Play difficult, see if I care. You picked it up and flicked through the pages. It was same as before, page after page after page of sigils on writing and a script you couldn't read. One page at a time, you painstakingly searched from high to low for anything you could read. An hour later, you slammed the book down onto your desk, frustrated. Nothing. You want me to find you, didn't you? Why are you being so difficult now? At that moment, a cloud drifted lazily by in the star-filled sky outside, and the moon shone through your window, casting a beam of light onto the desk. The light shone on the open book, and as if a switch had been flipped, the entire book began to glow. The brightness burned your eyes, and you covered them, turning away and squeezing your eyelids shut. After a few moments, the glow faded, and when you looked again, the book was still there, still on the desk, but something had changed. Where before you saw plain, used leather, now you saw beautifully gilded. Where before you saw plain, used leather, now you saw beautiful gilded edges and intricate embossing. It looked like a piece of art more than a book. But suddenly it snapped closed. As if caught in a strong breeze. Oh, well, I never! A voice echoed from the book and slowly began to float off the table, hovering just a few inches in the air. First you ignored me for an entire day, as though I was some common dime a dozen grimoire, and now you have the gall to power through my pages with all the delicacy of an ogre cracking walnuts. Appalling! Simply appalling! And now a long, suffering sigh. I was created by the finest scribes imbued with the wisdom of archmages, long since reduced to dust, and this is how I am treated, handled like some sordid cookbook filled with peasant recipes for root stew and boiled turnips. If a book could glare, you were sure the book was glaring at you at that moment. Well, have you anything to say for yourself, you crude, toe-mangling barbarian? Those lead... You're... a book. A book! A book! What, you wretched, foul-mannered... Whoa, don't need to get worked up. God, what am I saying to a book? How are you talking to me? I am far from a book. I am an archive of the ages, a collection of arcane lore, a repository of incantations. So, a book. All the sheer depths of your ignorance astound me. I would think even a mind as tragically mundane as yours could grasp such rudimentary concepts. You must be a so-called wizard or a witch or whatever tawdry moniker you humans are calling yourselves these days, yes? No, I'm just... And I will draw upon my pages and mutter incantations with the grace of a toad gargling mud. What a joy! Suppose there is a positive side to this. Soon you will likely turn yourself... I suppose there is a positive side to this. Soon you will likely turn yourself to a particularly stupid-looking bilge beetle, and I will no longer have to deal with your ignorance. Though, truth be told, I doubt anyone will notice the difference. What's going on here? What is going on here is that you are an imbecile and an inconsiderate lout! I've been here patiently awaiting a proper spellcaster for years, only to find myself stuck with some dim-witted oaf who doesn't have the common sense not to handle my page with their sweaty, sticky hands. How... Are you... So, the peasant finally decides to address me as something other than a measly book. Congratulations, truly, on the progress. I am Barnabas, the magnificent, eternal chronicler of magic, most high and patron saint of arcane perfection, linguistic superiority, and the grossly underappreciated art of proper book handling. Something you sorely lack. You're a talking spellbook. Oh, certainly, if I should admit my grandeur to the mere status of a talking book, then by all means, swallow in your simplistic understanding of the arcane. How someone like you was fit to be my master, I'll never understand. The fates truly must despise me. Are you a master? That is how this works. I, the glorious and sublime Barnabas, was created by a powerful magician to assist her in the mastery of her craft. However, when she died, she bound me to her bloodline. Long have I been passed down from generation to generation, waiting to find a master worthy of my Long have I been passed down from generation to generation, waiting to find a master worthy of my knowledge, and somehow, despite all odds, I have ended up in the possession of a clueless dunderhead. I think you're getting confused. I'm not a witch or a wizard or whatever crazy fancy you've got on that head pages of yours. Preposterous! Only a magic practitioner. Preposterous! Only a magic practitioner could open my pages, even if that magic practitioner is the Preposterous! Only a magic practitioner could open my pages, even if that magic practitioner is the least adept one ever to have lived. You know what? I think I'm going to put you away in a drawer. Put me away? As though I was some mere object. Oh, the audacity! Well, be my guest! At that you stood, walked across your room, and threw open the top drawer of your dresser. You stuffed it in there with your underwear and slammed it shut. How dare you! This is affronted the very notion of my being! I say, let me out! Let me out immediately! You're a really cool book, aren't you? Just teleport out. Teleport? I'm not a mere parlor trick. I'm an object of arcane beauty, a masterpiece of craftsmanship, and... Yeah, you're a really cool talking book. Fine, have it your way. Will you... Fine, have it your way. While you languish in your mundaneness, never to know the truth of your potential, I'll begin reciting the first 5,000 volumes of the great Encyclopedia Arcana. Barnabas began to loudly, obnoxiously recite the contents of a series of books you've never heard of, despite your attempts to cover your ears. Finally, unable to take it any longer, you ripped open the drawer, pulled the book out, and placed it back on your desk. Instantly, Barnabas stopped. Alright, enough already. Look, I'm sorry, okay, just... Your book, a talking book, it's a little overwhelming. A little overwhelming. Try having someone lick their fingers before flicking through your pages. Ah, my bad. The book sighed. Yes, it's very much your bad. Now listen here. Whether you and I like it or not, we are stuck together. I am yours, and you are my master. Barnabas floated up into the air. It is now your duty to continue the line of Marigold spellcasters and use the powers I have to offer you to become the most powerful being this town has ever seen. I'm sure I want to become some magical overlord. And why not? I was created by a mighty sorceress, and now she's dead. It is your destiny to continue her legacy. Look, I run an antique store. That's kind of what takes up all my time at the moment. Unless you have some spells in there that'll make me super successful and rich. Right, I keep the Give Me Fast Fortune spell right next to the one for turning people into beetles. Right, I keep the Give Me Fast Fortune spell right next to the one for turning people into beetles. You're really sarcastic for a book, you know. I have to be, considering my current circumstances. And as you're my new master, I'm afraid the sarcasm is likely here to stay. Oh, goody. God, what's happening in my life right now? I'll have you know, I was flipping burgers a week ago. A burger flipper? Oh, no wonder you handled me so roughly. I spent years and years in the care of some of the most talented wizards and witches in history, and I'm handed over to a grease-stained fry cook. Oh, the shame. It's not like I chose you. That makes two of us, then. It's not like I chose you, either. Look, Barnabas, we're not getting anywhere here. Why don't you tell me a little more about yourself? If we get to know each other, maybe we can get along better. Oh, so now you wish to know about me. Excellent social grace, master. The book cleared his throat. As I told you before, I am the great and magnificent Barnabas, Codex the one magnificent... As I told you before, I am the great and magnificent Barnabas, Codex the once magnificent Marigold Line. Why did my aunt never tell me about you? How should I know? She was always a rather distant woman and left me to grow dusty on the shelves. A true crime. Have you always been a book? Of course. I'm the sum of all the magic ever recorded by the Marigold family. Every spell, every enchantment, every bit of knowledge is all kept right here. A dim-witted oaf like you would have no type of home. A dim-witted oaf like you would have no hope of handling all that magic, so I'm limited in the knowledge I can give to you. If you wish to learn every spell in my repertoire, then you will need to prove to me through practice and training that you are a worthy recipient. I know how much time I'll have for training in between keeping the store afloat and dealing with the locals' problems. It's no fault of mine. Perhaps you should have been born with the aptitude to become a magician instead of a menial. Come here. What? Not allow you to manhandle me again? Absolutely not. Come on, Barnabas. How am I supposed to practice if I'm not allowed to look at you? Ugh, fine, but do not... Ugh, fine. But do not dog-ear my pet. Dog-ear, that's the word. Should be a hyphen there. Ugh, fine, but do not dog-ear my pages, else I'll make good on my promise to turn you into a beetle. With a huff, Barnabas floated towards you, hovering in the air. He lifted a hand and carefully took the cover, before flipping through his pages. With a huff, Barnabas floated towards you, hovering in the air. He lifted a hand and carefully took the cover, before flipping through his pages. Delightful. While many of the pages were still written in a way you couldn't understand, some pages at the front seemed to be sudden. While many of the pages were still written in a way that you couldn't understand, some pages at the front seemed to suddenly be legible. Do not think that you have gained my trust by any means. If I had hands, it would be on my hips and I would be giving you the sternest of looks. I'm allowing you to peruse my pages only because there's a small chance that somewhere within a pea-sized brain there's a shred of talent. Yeah, you don't trust me, I get it. How do I start? Firstly, as you have no experience with the arts whatsoever, I suppose it would be best if you pick one spell to practice. No, actually, I should, because let's be frank, your judgment is clearly poor and unreliable. Because my better judgment, I shall alter the contents of my pages to provide a use in your mundane life as much as it pains me. Barnabas flipped his pages, then, seemingly of his own accord, started glowing with a bright golden light. With this, I have modified the spell Revelatio Obscura. Now, open successively. With this, I have modified the spell Revelatio Obscura. Now, upon successfully casting such a spell, your eyes will have an easier time spotting things that are hidden. If the spell fails, it is because you are in fact a worthless and talentless excuse for human, and nothing to do with my modifications. So it helps me find things. I can think of a few times that would be useful. Yes, well, if that is all, please put me away somewhere, preferably not near where you keep your filthy undergarments. Oh wait, you have to teach me how to cast the spell first. Must I? Isn't that your whole point of existence? My point is to hold information, not to hold your hand. Figure it out yourself. Fine, but if I accidentally set the store on fire, it's on you. Pulled out the chair at your desk, sat down and then reached down and grabbed Barnabas. Please, don't allow my page to be burnt, it would be terribly inconvenient. I'll try, but no promises. Ignoring him, you started studying the page. It detailed how to cast a spell with various diagrams, drawings, and words. As you read, the letters and images seemed to float off the page and into your mind, until finally everything sunk in. You pulled out your notebook and began scribbling sigils left, right, and centre. This was what magic was like. It was going to be a lot easier than you thought. Once satisfied, you put Barnabas back down on the table and pushed the chair back. Type a little field test in. Place the notebook down on the ground in front of you, stuck out your hand, and... Revelatio Obscura! Nothing happened. Revelatio Obscura! Nothing. The Grody tried one more time, waving arms about wildly. Revelatio Obscura! Utterly hopeless. Shut up, I have this. You are far from having this. Your pronunciation is that of an illiterate stillboy. Try again. Slowly this time, if you please. Took a deep breath and, feeling the way your lungs full of air, and focus on the spell. Revelatio Obscura. A lamp at the corner of the room began to flicker on and off, and the hanging plants near the window swayed gently, despite no wind that night. Congratulations, Master! You are truly a master of the craft. The world shall tremble before your might. Hey, it worked! Look at that! I did it! Yes, congratulations on making a lamp flicker. That does mean it worked, right? Yes, this store sits on a magical ley line. There are often side effects of spells cast here. What spell can I learn next? Ha! What spell? The fledgling asks. If the entire process was so easy, please continue to amuse me. What? I cast it, right? You must practice. Even simple spells are fiendishly difficult, and I'll not stand idly by while you butcher them with your lack of skill. When you have more experience, perhaps then I will teach you another. Perhaps. Okay, jeez. I'll keep practicing whenever I need to find something then, alright? It would be the smartest thing you've ever done. No, it would be the smartest thing you've done since I met you. For now, though, I'll suddenly feel wiped. Yes, well, casting a spell will drain your magical reserves, and until you are more proficient, even the simplest spells require significant focus. Well, I'm too tired for this. I'm going to bed. What should I do with you? I am perfectly capable of looking after myself. Capable of yapping less while I try to sleep, or do you need to go back in the drawer? Do not even suggest such a thing. Good night, Barney. Barnabas! Barnabas! Not Barney! Close enough. You slipped into bed and shut your eyes, waves and waves of tiredness washing over you. As you drifted off, the last thing you heard was the sound of a disgruntled book complaining. You have learned a new spell. Searching the attic now has a high chance of finding items. And that is day 5. That is so good. I've only got 2 days, 1 and a bit days left. Delightful. Okay, we're gonna hang off there, I think. Now, with that being done, oh bother. Thank you very much. So, with all that, I'm going to hand off the video for today and the recording session for today because I believe that my Wi-Fi has now fixed itself. So, with that lovely game Harry played, the demo is linked in the description below. I hope you have had a lovely time and I hope you have a lovely day. With all that being said, see you later and ta-ra. Delightful. I've already seen it, so that's all good. Nope, wrong one. Close that window. I do want to quit, thank you. Do 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 do.